We've been doing this for a long time now. Help us start to rebuild.
This is the first ever video podcast for Broken Instruments.
Man.
And
I'm honored, bro.
dude, yeah, it's my honor to have you here, man. Not much of an introduction. I don't need to introduce this guy. This guy's one of my brothers again from childhood, man. One of my day ones. Mr. John Angelo Doromal.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Good.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, of course. It's not the biggest platform ever, but I mean I think people are realizing I'm hosting people that I love, that mean a lot to me, especially growing up. And the Broken Instruments is simply something you saw from the beginning.
Right.
And I mean, we started even with like music in the past. We would just like produce beats together.
Mm-hmm.
You would sing, rap on my beats, dude. And because we go way back, it's one of those things where now like we're in different areas of our life, different phases and different chapters of our life. And I think that's such a beautiful thing to kind of bring back and highlight. All the kids were here earlier, our wives, and they're out at the park. And I think just to see the kids and how big they are now and how they're interacting now, it's kind of a wake up call that like we got to get back to just spending more time together.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are forgetting that. It's been a weird ride. I feel like the climate that we're all in right now, it's kind of a scary time to raise kids.
It really is, yeah.
And
both of us have COVID babies.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. And you have two kids.
Yeah, two.
And
Two Amazon babies.
I don't know, man. I would say I'm interested to know, and this might even turn into a series to where I can highlight fathers, new fathers, old fathers, and kind of the mindset of that alongside of the motherhood series, right? We're highlighting moms. I'm interested to know your experience becoming a father before Jayla, when you found out Jayla was coming. What was going through your head, man?
Oh, man, yeah. So when I found out, of course, we were both like totally excited. And honestly, I tried my best not to think too much about it because I already know it's going to be a lot. But definitely, before she came, I felt like I was mentally and spiritually prepared. So that played a huge role for sure. And before we even got married, Tanisha and I, it was about like a year where I worked at a beach and I was working at a recovery at the time.
Oh, so, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so before I met Tanisha, like I really, I disconnected myself from, social media, all that. I was ready for a change. I wanted to grow for sure. So for a year, I was just, dedicating my time, helping these clients get better in recovery and myself too. I was trying to find, I was trying to dig deeper pretty much.
Yeah.
Like I already know I'm this person, so I really wanted to find out my purpose. So long story short, I was in a good place. And then randomly, Tanisha came out of nowhere. And believe it or not, she went up to me.
Oh, damn.
And that's when I knew. I was like, okay. So that was like, God telling me, you're in the right place. So let me take care of you.
Yeah, because you were in the state of someone who would not just attract somebody else like physically. It's more of the energy about you.
Exactly.
Brought her in. And obviously, like Tanisha eventually be on the podcast. I'm going to ask her.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why did you approach this guy, dude? What the fuck?
It's a funny story, but
Yeah.
you want me to tell it really fast?
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, so like I was always at 24 and then she was a trainer there.
At 24.
Yeah, she was a trainer there. This was in the Eastville location.
Oh, that's right.
So that was like my second home, man. I was there like every day, just getting it in.
Yeah.
And I would always see her. Like we would always cross paths, but I was never the type to like, be a creep in the gym. You know those creepers in the gym?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just getting in. I'm just in Mamba mode, man. I just have my hoodie on. I'm in the zone. And then there was one time where I was on the Stairmaster. I was finishing up my workout. And out of nowhere, somebody just taps me in my leg. And no one goes up to me in the gym, bro. And then out of nowhere, it was Tanisha. And she was like, when are you going to say hi? So that threw me off. I was like, oh. I almost fell off the stairmaster, man. But then, yeah. So, long story short, we connected well, and then we just exchanged numbers right away, and then we hit it off pretty well. And then ever since, it was a smooth ride.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
easy, but that's any relationship.
Of course.
But that's how we met.
Yeah, I think that's one big thing that, obviously the good times are good. The hard times aren't bad, but they're not so good. And marriage takes a lot of work, if anything. And I think everybody portrays like this perfect picture of marriage. It's not. It takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of self-sacrifice, commitment, devotion. And, I guess people just make this picture like it's easy, or like you're lucky to have like a good spouse or something.
Right.
It's not necessarily that. I think we're all normal people trying to do our best.
Totally.
But seeing you and Tanisha together right away, especially, you guys matched, dude. She laughed at like every joke that you had, even the corny ones, bro. And I remember like the videos that you guys used to post, and I'm like, man, he found the one that would like sing with him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember those videos, dude. And I mean, yeah, Jayla is turning 3.
Yeah, she's turning 3 November 29th. I have a 3-year-old. Crazy.
Yeah, and time, like that alone, like just proves time flies.
Mm-hmm.
And when Jayla was on the way, what changed? What was like the mindset? Because a lot of things changed in my mindset. I'm curious to know what you were going through when you were expecting your first child.
Yeah, so there was really a lot to think about. Once I soaked everything in, I was being a father. Once I found out the gender, that's when it really hit me the most.
When you found out she was a girl.
Yeah, because I'm all boys. It's me, and my brothers.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the way my dad is, he raised us to be like men.
Yeah.
So I was praying for a boy, like you mentioned.
I totally felt that way too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna get a boy for sure. I was bragging and everything. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, we're having a girl. That changes everything, man.
It does.
It's like, all right, my dad was hard on me growing up. And it's like, damn, I have a daughter. So that made me question myself, like, I got to be an example to my daughter. Mm-hmm. I got to make sure she's good. I got to make sure I raise her well. There's a lot to think about. And that's going to be a life learning experience always. Like, it's not going to be perfect, like you said.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough road, but I feel like as long as you give them that proper guidance, she'll be good.
Yeah, dude. When I found out we were having Mela, I think I mentioned on that last podcast, it not only softened me up, but it got me to feel more like I had to be a protector, a different type of protector. Where I don't know, like I know there's like this big thing about like gender roles and stuff like that, but no, like if we were having a son, I feel like I would be a lot harder on my son to make sure that he's ready to protect the family if something happens to me.
Exactly.
Like he becomes the next man of the house, to make sure that you don't make your mom do everything, right? Don't make your mom do everything here. As a man, right? That's how our dads trained us.
Yep. Uncles.
Yeah, dude. We have. I mean, both of our families are just like full of men.
Yeah.
A lot of testosterone and
Definitely.
whatever toxic masculinity that they have. But it's one of those things where as soon as you find out you're gonna be a girl dad, I don't know what it was in me. It was more of like, oh fuck no, dude. Like no one is gonna like mess with my kingdom now.
Oh man, I was just creating like random situations. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, like the scene from Bad Boys 2.
Oh, when they're going to prom?
Yeah, remember I texted you? I was
Yeah,
like,
you
hey,
did.
be ready for this day. When she's 18, all of you guys are gonna pull up.
Yeah, we'll be or in that one movie. What was that one movie where they're all in the garage?
Oh, that was Den of Thieves.
Den of Thieves, dude. Yeah.
Oh man, my favorite scene.
I totally picture us doing that.
Yeah, we gotta reenact that for sure.
Bad Boys for sure. I remember you sent me the meme on that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, I felt like I started thinking about our home, like making a boundary in our home and making sure it's fortified. Like, there's a protection here.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember me and Gracie like planning out, like, or me talking to her saying like, hey, if this happens, this has to happen. And, like certain things that like I have to do as the man of the house, the father, like, let me do it. Like taking out the trash and all that stuff that we assume is like, all right, yeah, like anybody could do it, of course. But for safety, it's like, dude, I'm not going to risk anything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For my girls, man, no way. And so she definitely softened me up. But when it came to the other, like the outer world, like I felt like I became more of like a monster, dude. Like, don't fuck with me, like kind of thing.
I know exactly what you mean.
And I know it sounds so, I don't know. It might not sound pleasant to people or whatever, or people kind of judge when people look at like royalty and kings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're creating your kingdom, so much plays into your head of the type of family you want to raise. And you want to raise children, especially a daughter, of virtue and honor. And you don't see a lot of that in the world anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, especially now, like, I feel like every generation is just getting worse, you know?
Yeah, that's what's,
It's
I mean,
true.
yeah, it's sad. And maybe it's social media or whatever it is. I have read though that our children, I mean, supposedly, after Gen Z, there's Gen Alpha, like
Right.
they're starting over, and it's Jayla, Ray, and Amela. Their new generation is going to grow up in a different world, and ideally, it should be a little bit better because now we as parents understand the difficulties and the risks of social media, virtual interactions, things like
Yes,
that.
yes.
So I would say that we're a little bit more protective. Not that they weren't in the previous generation. It was more of this is all we understood. Internet just came up. That's all we understood. It wasn't like, oh no, that this can happen later on. We never knew. And growing up, it was like, this is the new stuff. We're just learning it, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
And I would probably say that a lot of the maybe like school age children and teens now, they did grow up in a world of like just complete social media and like click of a button, you get your food delivered. And I don't know, like in the past few, like couple of years, at least it's just been different. It's been hard. And I feel like it's going to get a little harder still.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So even more, I've been focused on just strengthening my family.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, and we were talking before we started recording, it's just like, I want to bring back strong family virtue and make families strong enough to handle outside distractions, outside challenges. And it's ironic because you texted me the other day to listen to Nas's new album, King's Disease.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Solid
And
album.
that, the King's Disease, I mean, in nursing school, they talked about the King's Disease as being gout, right? And like what I understood in the past was like, oh, because kings in the past always ate the best foods, like the fattened calf, like the best meats, all that stuff. And then they got gout because like, because you have all these things to enjoy, that's what you get, kind of thing. But now I understand it even more now, like what the King's Disease is. It's honestly, it's never settling and it's never being comfortable.
Right.
I don't know if that's the same experience for you being a dad. Now that you have two kids, for me, just having one, I'm like, I'm always unsettled, and it's because I worry. It's because I want to help. I want to build a nice kingdom, and it's always on my shoulders. I feel like.
Yeah, it's just that father instinct. It's going to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
So us men, we just have to always plan ahead. That's just how it is.
Planning ahead, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
That's why it really hit me when you mentioned how the way marriage is made, like it's really meant to shine just the the wife and kids. But
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to all the fathers out there, man, because it's not easy. That's why whenever I come across another dad and they put up a front, oh, it's easy, man, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, it's tough. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay. All that is valid. So we just have to really make sure the marriage is a teamwork effort, number one, always. Like,
Yeah.
don't leave anybody behind. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's both ways, like where you don't want the mom to ever feel alone.
Right.
And then the moms never want the dad to feel alone. And the kids should never know that we feel this,
Yeah.
100%, dude. It's one of those feelings of like, yeah, out there, it kind of, it's frowned upon or whatever. Like you have to have this strong persona about you. Dude, honestly, I'm going to be freaking real with you, man. It is hard,
It is,
and
it is.
yeah, because naturally all of us, everybody in the world wants attention. Everybody wants respect. They want, they want people to know how much work you put in. And when you don't get any of that, that was part of my learning experience where it's like, you know what? It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
just as long as my family has what they need, that's all the security and validation I need. I don't need someone to know how much I put in for my family.
Exactly. You're in your own race, number one.
Yeah. And to me, that's the king's disease because
Yeah.
it'll never go away.
Right.
And I mean, to the day I die, I know, and I'm pretty sure you too, it's going to be like this until your last breath.
Yeah.
You're always going to worry about your children. You're always going to worry if they're doing good in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, bringing that in to this world, I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like there is some sort of awakening of family again. I feel like families have been broken too much that people, as soon as you bring up family,
It's such a sensitive topic.
yeah,
Right away.
yeah, it's almost like everybody's scarred by a family.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful for our generation, you know, when we build the new generation of people, I want to rebuild that. I want to restructure a family and not have that negative connotation every time someone brings up a family. It's like, oh, mine fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
I want to bring back that definition of what a good family is, you know,
A functional family.
functional. Yeah.
Because I think I'll just be completely honest. I feel like nowadays a lot of families, they think, I'm not saying all families, but a lot of families out there, they think that, you know, being family is, you know, you're having gatherings for the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm big on family. Like I really value it.
Yeah.
And family should be like number one, end of the day. Like the first thing you think about, the last thing you think about. You know? And I'm actually in a good place right now because I actually opened up, you know, heart-to-heart conversations with my older brother, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up with my uncle, PJ.
Nice.
And, you know, there was times where, you know, we would clash, which is normal. And, you know, one thing I really worked on, I shared with you, is that I want to do my best to live my life here on out with no more pride, no more ego, and just be genuine, man. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool to hug a brother. It's cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine to say I love you.
Yeah.
Like, perfect example, man. Like, there's people dying left and right.
Yeah.
But then why do people all of a sudden want to show their love when they're gone?
Yeah.
Love everyone here while they're here. Give them their flowers now, just like I am with you.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate being here, man. This is awesome.
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Is it because nowadays they don't want men to show any vulnerability or like, you know, I don't know what that is. And maybe that's what they call toxic masculinity. Like where it's like, oh, you can't show any weakness or whatever.
Yeah.
I would say that like the true, you know, authentic man is vulnerable and they're okay to admit that.
Exactly.
And it's okay to, like you said, drop your pride to let someone know, hey, dude, like, or, you know, when we have quarrels or whatever, and we've had fallouts in the past.
Yeah.
But what I honor the most about our relationship is we can sit down man to man and be like, hey, dude, you know, when you said this is how it made me feel. You probably didn't mean it that way, but this is how I took it. Where could we go from here? You know, I think people nowadays are just quick to just like, all right, you know, fuck them, dude. I don't want to talk to that guy anymore. Or don't talk to those guys. It's like, what is that? You know? We're all, like you said, we're all in this freaking together. Why waste time? Why cut out people that could help you, you know, build that kingdom in the future? I look to you guys. I look to my brothers. I look to everybody we grew up with as people that I would trust to start that tribe.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you rely on the tribe, the village. You know, growing up, yeah, like you said, we have our uncles, we have our brothers and stuff, like our dads. Like we grew up in families of men, and I was always proud of that. But also, I knew that people are gonna judge me based on my dad. People are gonna judge me based on my uncles.
Oh, dude,
my grandfather.
That is so true, man. That's true.
So it's and you can call it like the patriarch or whatever, like the pattern of behavior of Doromal, the pattern of behavior of Carreon. And I know that that's gonna ride me until the day I die, unless people get to know us, you know. And this is not a call out to be like, oh, you should get to know us before you judge us. No, it's one of those things where it's like, man, if you only knew the type of people that we are, if like if people knew the type of person you were, if they ever gave you a chance, you're the type of guy that you want on you're the type of guy that people would want on their team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if I see you struggling, I'm gonna go right behind you and like push
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's about the good message. It's about the good fight. And there's people, like we talked about the world. There's people that we can't trust. There's people that wrong other people.
Mm-hmm.
The people that I grew up with, the people that I trust with my family, are down.
Yeah.
They're down to get in the dirt. They're down to pick up the person from the ground. They're down to take bullets for the person next to them. And I think that is lacking nowadays. Mm-hmm. Because people have that pride, that ego of like, oh, I'm gonna be a lone wolf. Like, fuck you guys. I'm on my own.
Yeah.
No, dude. No one will ever be able to build a kingdom by themselves.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah, man. And
I mean, I'm guilty for that because I was that for a little bit.
I think we all were at some point, right?
All of us.
We all get to that point.
That's just part of the part of growth, I guess.
Yeah.
But, once I did that, and lately I really worked on just loving people. End of the day.
Yeah.
And I definitely feel like so much lighter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my days, like I don't know, I just have a smoother day.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, dude. Like there's days where I'll feel that way again. And then I try to remind myself, like, no, dude, it's, at the end of the day, like I'm blessed to just be alive right now, like to breathe.
Yep.
And I mean, whatever it is, I think it is a phase though. You have to have some self-reliance and resilience, right? When the world hits you, it's like, all right, sometimes you got to fight your battles on your own. Mm-hmm. And you do that so much, like I would say that's like warrior mode, warrior mentality, lone wolf type of thing. But then when you realize that it's not just about you, and I think that's what family brought me, having a child, it made me realize like it's not about me. It was never about me. Mm-hmm. It's about the future.
Exactly.
And that's what I would, label the generative man. When you have kids, you know they're gonna outlive you. And that's a blessing to have, to raise people that will outlive you and that can continue the family legacy after you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So like it's a weird, I think I mentioned in a different podcast where it's like you soul search, you try to find yourself, and I remember telling my parents like I'm trying to find myself. That was my excuse to like people like I'm on my own right now, like I'm dealing with my shit. But you find yourself so much that you realize it's never about you.
Yeah, it's like what Kobe says, like, dude, you ain't shit. Like, when he missed like the 4 air balls right away.
Yeah, in Utah.
In the Utah game. It's like, man, we ain't shit.
Yeah.
Just get out of your
head.
Yeah, get out of your head. There you go.
Get out of your head. Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
We hold ourselves back that way. Because if you think of big picture, dude, it really, in the whole scheme of things, no one will probably remember my name. It doesn't matter at this point. What matters is who can you bring up to carry on the legacy? Who can you bring up to live on spreading the virtue that we wanted to find in this world?
Exactly.
And I think I got to that acceptance of like, yeah, maybe I'm not going to do great things in this world. That's okay. Because remember, we grow up thinking like, oh, I'm going to be great. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then life hits you, reality hits you, and you're like, bro, you're fucking nothing, dude. Like at the end of the day, everyone's working, doing their own thing. And in everybody else's world, they're number one.
Yeah.
So I think realizing that like people will look out for number one always. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, I'm going to look out for number one. But now like number one is my whole family. Like that's number one.
Right. We're all one.
Because we're not, it's not just me anymore. It's everybody that I'm hoping to bring forth as strong people in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
And that brings me to like everything that we're trying to build right now. Like we're in this weird place. A lot of our age group of not just finding ourselves, but finding the true calling, finding the true calling. Cause I think we grew up in this, whatever it is, education system or whatever that kind of trained us to think like you have to do this, you have to get a degree, you have to get credentials. And I'll say like I accomplished all that to find out that at the end of the day, it didn't matter to my daughter. Right. Like Mela doesn't really care that I got my master's. Like that doesn't fucking matter. You know what matters is that I have enough energy to play catch with her.
Right.
And that to me is like the meaning of why I'm here. That's my calling now to be a father, and to honestly to rebuild that family.
Yeah. Our kids give us a greater purpose for sure.
Yeah, I learned that.
Yeah,
dude.
like this is why we're here.
The number one vocation, I think, is that.
Yeah.
It's not, your profession. It's not whatever job you work. It's to show up when your family needs you.
Yeah, that's definitely a strong message for everyone. Like it doesn't, like what you said, it doesn't matter if you have, if you have all the money, if you have like the best car, it all means nothing at the end of the day. And even if you're chasing for that, if you're striving for that, you got to make sure that morals should be number one.
Yeah.
Family. Once you have that, like everything just falls into place.
Yeah.
That's just for me personally.
No, I feel the same exact way. And everything I was chasing in the past didn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
It probably would be nice to own like a nice ass car, whatever it is, like a coupe, like 2-door, nice ass sports car. But at the end of the day, functionality, right? I mean, when you have a kid, you can't fit a car seat in the back seat like that. Like, whatever it is, in a Lambo or whatever. So does it even matter? Is it even worth that? Because my biggest concern, your biggest concern is your kids are comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the thing now, man, like don't get me wrong, social media is a great platform for everybody to connect and stay in touch.
Yeah.
But people have to start talking more about life experiences. Like, yeah, you have this car and all that, but what's going on in the home?
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's the new wave that we should start.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say my family's perfect. We have our flaws, just like any family. But I think now we just gotta tell more stories, more life experiences, more genuine.
Yeah. Because that's what really matters, man. It's not about flexing, showing off whatever. I'm here, I'm there. What is happening in the home? Yeah. Damn, that's 100. Like, dude, that is super deep. Yeah.
Sad to say, like most people that I know, they're still at that stage, man. They're still out partying, and I'm not judging anything for that, but you got to understand what's more important at the end of the day. Especially in these times, the pandemic, people are dying.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of relationships are breaking.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason for all this. It's not just about, getting sick.
True.
Like, why is this happening? We're getting this, like, chance to reset and figure things out.
Yeah.
Like, to properly game plan.
Dude. 100%.
Yeah.
I know everyone keeps saying like 2020 was like the vision, like 2020 vision was clarity. If you think back, and dude, we're a year and a half out of when the pandemic first hit in our area.
Right.
What did we learn, dude? You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem for me. It's like, I mean, people have lost loved ones, and I've lost loved ones to this. And at the end of the day, what did I learn from that? Is that none of that really mattered. All that flexing, all the virtue signaling online, and judging people because of this, because like they went out and you're not supposed to go out on the lockdown. Like, dude, what are we doing? Like, we're too busy looking at what other people are doing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you're right. And then at home, you don't even have a good relationship. Like, your kids hate you.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But on social media, you got like 100 followers, you got hundreds of thousands of followers, and deep down inside, are you happy?
Yeah, all clout.
Yeah, all clout, dude. And at the end of the day, you don't die with your followers. You don't die with a bank account. Mm-hmm. You don't take that with you.
You don't. You die. You're just in a casket. That's it.
Bro, no, that's the 100% truth, dude. And what happens after that, we don't know. I know 100% though that the bank won't let you take your money.
Right.
That's 100%.
And even when it's your day of judgment. You don't take everything with you. It's just your soul. That's
all these material things in this world, and there's like a big group of people that are silent about this, but they feel the same exact way. Because I'm sure you've had conversations with people. I've had conversations with people about this, and people are waking up.
Yeah, and
it's not like conspiracy, government stuff. It's not just waking up about that. It's waking up about what really matters in life and your soul.
Yeah.
I think we have felt, and we've talked about that, how this pandemic brought us closer to God and our Creator, and the meaning of life again. Why we're even here. I mean, honestly, this podcast started because of the freaking pandemic, dude. Because I thought about it, like, no one's having a conversation like this anymore.
Yeah. Just open conversation. That's it.
Yeah. And I know we would have this damn conversation even without mics, without a freaking camera.
Oh,
this is us.
Even when we're just kicking it outside out of nowhere,
Yeah.
our nights always end this way. Like we always have just, deep talks and just like
Yeah.
plans for the future.
And that's why, from the beginning, Broken Instruments was the way it was, because I know I'm not anything close to perfect. We're not perfect. We're messed up, dude. Like, we're broken people. We are fallen, right? Fallen, the state. We are in a fallen state, and we're just trying to do better.
Exactly.
That's what it is. I'm not saying like, oh, like, I'm royalty, people should bow down to me. No, it's the king struggles.
Yeah.
The king struggles. And everyone's, you hear the cliches like, all right, yeah, like heavy is the head that wears the crown. No, dude, if you, like, fuck the crown. If you think about the weight of a kingdom, to carry a weight on your shoulders, the livelihood of people on your back, that's heavy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the crown. The king, the parents of a family carry so much on their back, where that is exactly what royalty means. Royalty means struggle. It means sacrifice, discipline, devotion.
Mm-hmm. The whole package.
Yeah, and that's why we call, Jesus, God, the king. He's the master at this life. And he proved it, right? And now how, in our story, how do we emulate that energy, that character, that virtue in our own way, in our little story?
Right.
And I think that's where we're all on our path that way. Being a father did bring me that. It brought me even closer to what I understand now. And I'll be honest, man, growing up, I thought we knew everything.
Yeah.
And then we realize you don't know shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, reality strikes and you're like, oh man, everything I thought I was working for, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah. Before I'm getting married and being a father, I was definitely, I wouldn't say I was in a bad place. I was in a good place, but my cup was half empty. But then once I got married and, started realizing the importance of family, like, I feel good, man. Like, I'm ready to take on this life, whatever comes my way.
Yeah. It like grounds you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And not to say that people need to get married to understand this or whatever.
Oh, no.
But I think when we talk about marriage, it's more of like, and when starting a family, it's more of the responsibility that was given to us that taught us this. Yeah. People find this understanding and life lesson in other things, like companies that they build and stuff like that. To know that everything rests on you and it depends on you. This is just our story of like fatherhood.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's hard, but at the end of the day, I think that's the most meaningful way of life.
Yeah, nothing beats the day, like, after a long day at work, you come home and your kids just run to you, man.
Yeah.
It's just unexplainable feeling. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Like, they don't care.
They don't
anything.
They don't judge you, nothing, man.
Yeah.
It's just
pure. Man, now that you say that, it reminded me of this one time, like, Mela was probably a few months old. And, Gracie was still sleeping, and then I can tell she was waking up. So I just brought her down, and I was having, like, alone time with her. Mm-hmm. And, like, at that, like, 3 months, like, they're just there. They don't move, nothing. And that was, like, the one thing. Because, my family, like, my extended family, we were going through a bunch of shit at that time. And I remember looking down at Mela, and, like, yeah, she was just, like, sleeping, But it was that exact feeling. Like, at the end of the day, I know this one person wouldn't judge me.
Yeah.
I know that this one person will love me for whoever I am unconditionally unless I fuck that up.
Right.
And that's my responsibility, is to never fuck that up, because I want to be part of this person's life. She's a big part of my life. And at the end of the day, I want to be happy with her.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that was one moment where I don't even know if I can explain that feeling. But I mean, just laying out that story alone makes me feel it again, of like, she just loves you for who you are.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is too, like, even when you're having an off day and you don't even talk to them, like, they know when you're having a bad day. Like, they'll just randomly, like, Jayla does it to me all the time. When I come home, I just chill on the couch and try to wind down. And she always just runs up to me and, like, holds my face like a little lady. And she gives me a kiss. It's like, man.
She knows.
Yeah, they know. Kids are so smart.
Yeah.
They're all energy too.
Yeah. And this is like, I would say like a glimmer of hope or whatever. because like with the pandemic, everyone's wearing masks and stuff, right? Like since they were kids.
Yeah.
One of my students brought it up to me, and they were saying that there's a theory now for kids that were born during the pandemic, or any kid that was like, 3 years, 4 years and younger during the COVID pandemic, will be more emotionally in tune.
Oh yeah.
Because the mask, it covers more than half the face. So even with like the eyes, just the eyes alone, or just the energy of the person, they can feel your emotion.
They could.
Better than any other generation before that. And I was like, dude, that totally blew my mind. Because, we always think like, oh man, I don't want my kid growing up in a time where everyone's wearing masks. It was a glimmer of hope, knowing that, it is possible, because they grew up in a world where all you saw was eyes and all you felt was energy.
Yeah.
And they can feel that. That's amazing to me. They're relentlessly pure. There's no other way to look at it. Kids are pure.
Yeah, they're not thinking about the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they just know that this is it.
Yeah,
like, okay.
I have a crazy story. Like, there was a time where I was in the store, and this was like the very beginning of COVID. Like, when like there was no more toilet paper, there was no more canned food.
Oh shit.
So I brought Jayla to the store, and she was a little bit. She was like a little bit older than one, and I was wearing my mask. And in the beginning, we were all freaked out. We didn't know what to do.
No one knew, dude.
Nobody knew what to do. Like we were like, what the hell? So I was in the store with her, and then she saw me in my mask, so it was new to her. And then when I was, just pushing the cart, she pulled my face, and she pulled my mask off.
Oh yeah, she pulled it down.
Yeah, she pulled it down. So that was just a sign for me, like, dude, if my daughter's telling me like not to worry and just live, that's when I stopped wearing masks and stuff.
That's powerful, man, because I feel like so many people live in fear now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because we have kids, right? And like our, Ray and Amela, they just turned 1, if anything, this past year. And I don't know, maybe I'll get canceled. I don't know if they'll like whatever, they take me off YouTube or something. I was waiting for some recommendation about kids that are 1-year-olds wearing masks.
Yeah.
And they don't recommend it. I was like, well, so you're telling me that I got to walk around this place with a mask. My daughter won't be wearing a mask, breathing the same air that I would be breathing. Like, so she's breathing all this air, no protection, whatever masks are protectable, whatever. Is it that protecting, right? And then we go home, I take off my mask anyway, and we're still gonna breathe the same air, the same moist. She's gonna spit on my hand, like literally, she's gonna like sneeze in my face, and yet like I'm gonna be protected because I was wearing a mask for like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I, not to say that masks never worked or whatever. It's more of like, as a father, if my daughter's gonna be at risk for this, and you don't recommend her wearing a mask, then I'm gonna breathe the same exact air, the same exact way my daughter would.
Exactly.
Because it's my daughter.
Yeah.
So if she gets it, I get it. At this point, and it's not the rebellious side of me. It's more of like, well, I'm trying to think logically.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the reason, is that intuitively, I mean, yeah, coming from the medical field too, I don't want to live in fear. So because I was afraid in the beginning, we didn't know, dude. I remember those texts coming back like with family, like, I remember us texting like, you got to hunt for food for your kids, man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what happens if there's no food? We got to be prepared. And like, it lit me up too, because it's like, now that we're in charge and, basically in charge of the safety and well-being of our family, there was that feeling of like, oh shit, we got to go. Like, I got to get this, I got to get water, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's even more of a mission now.
It is, yeah.
Grocery shopping.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that, like, because no one knew about it. Everyone was living in fear.
Yeah.
And if you think about more than a year and a half later, how can we still be living in that type of fear where we know more about COVID or whatever variants coming out? There's a lot more than a vaccine that's available for people, medications, things like that. And do you think more than a year and a half later, we know enough to go back to living and start doing what we want to do with our families?
Yeah,
taking our kids out, and I know, like, we take Mel out, we go to Disneyland and stuff, and I don't know, people probably judge us. They're like, dude, like, you're risking whatever. At the end of the day, my daughter has one life, dude.
Exactly. And
we want to enjoy her at this age. And frankly, I choose not to live in fear.
I'm in the same boat, man.
Because
yeah,
that's faith to me. You know, being confident is like moving with faith that we're going to be taken care of. I studied stats the way I should have, as always, as a nurse. And it's more of knowing the numbers, knowing the actual statistics. Statistically, I have a low risk. Like, it's more than 99% survival for our age.
right.
32-year-old males with no medical conditions. Let's be real, man. And honestly, the people that are high risk, of course, I would recommend everything that they're pushing out. We can't pause our kids. Our kids are freaking over a year old already.
Exactly.
Damn. And now they're gonna tell us to not do this, not do that, lock down again. It's like, nah, dude. For my daughter, I want her to experience things now. She's over a year and a half old.
Yeah.
And that's probably, crazy for people to hear or whatever. At this point, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
What matters is everyone should be able to live the life that they want, and make decisions that they want. I think that's what scares me the most, is that, people are afraid to live again, and we can't lose that. I don't think we could lose that. So, and this is more than, if you're vaccinated or not. It's more than like if you believe in this or that, or what color you are in the government. It doesn't freaking matter.
It doesn't.
There is no color. It's about life. It's about living again, and knowing that you have the opportunity to make decisions on your own. And that to me is what we're granted by the grace of God, our Creator, and everything. Before any of this ever existed, before we existed, there was always this foundational belief in life, and we're made to live.
Right. Yeah.
So whatever. If people get all pissed off in this, whatever, dude, it's all good. Take it.
Like, man, we're made to be like, God gave us hands to like be outside, just do stuff. Like, go. You don't have to like be out in a concert or whatever, but go for a walk, do a hike, stuff like that.
Yeah, dude. Imagine in the beginning of the pandemic, we were scared to go for a walk.
Oh yeah, like I'd be that person, like take a peek outside and be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, like there's people. Oh shit. Like, and dude. And then you walk near somebody and you're like literally avoiding people. And not to say that was dumb. It was like that's all we knew at that point.
Yeah. At that time,
we were all like that.
Yeah, I had a lot of anxiety in the beginning when that all started. But
I felt like if you got it, it was a death sentence. That's how I felt. I think that's how everybody felt. It was like that movie Outbreak, dude. Like the small crack in like the hazmat suit. Like, oh shoot, you're done, dude.
Right. That's
how it felt. But now, I mean, the more we know, the better. Hey, dude, at this point, we should be better. We should know better. And that is beside everything else. Like, there's no judgment, on any other direction, any other side of it. I believe everybody has the right to choose what they want to do with their life, man.
Yeah.
People make bad choices. People make good choices. At that point, that's their choice. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to tell someone what to do.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this up because I'm sure a lot of families are clashing with this topic. And yeah, I think end of the day, as long as everyone respects everyone's life, that would be the end of war, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if everyone just focused more on just getting together instead of saying, oh, look at this person,
Yeah.
Just enjoy each other's company. That's it. That's it, dude. How fucking hard is that?
Yeah.
Like when I talk to my parents, like I try to have them realize, like, guys, just enjoy. Don't worry about your mask and stuff. You're good.
Yeah.
As long as you exercise, take the proper vitamins, and don't be all hugging up somebody, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Wash your hands, wipe your ass.
Yeah, no, you're right. Take care of your health.
That's it.
Number one, 100% right. And any war, any disrespect, any judgment, it stems from this idea that you can control other people.
Yeah.
No, dude, at the end of the day, everyone has the right to live their own life, man. And if you allow people to do that, you allow people to live their life, and you're allowed to live yours, you're right. Harmony, dude. I think that's what we're looking for in this day and age, that we should be generative in a way to allow people to continue to live.
Yeah.
And whatever, if it's a bad decision, we're going to learn. People are going to learn from that. But never try to take life from someone else.
Yeah.
If your life impedes someone else's life, then I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's right. Because I believe that there's an abundance of life. That the way I live shouldn't hinder someone else's life from thriving.
Right.
There's enough. There's more than enough for everybody. There's a lot of room for everybody. Every way of life, every belief, every element of health, there's room for it.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I think this is a big message. And I know, like, you know, people are like, don't talk about this stuff, whatever. I mean, dude, it's been a long time. And I think it's about time that people start not waking up, but realizing how bad it's gotten.
Yeah.
When now you have people judging other people for what?
Yeah. And
For
it's
making
crazy.
a health decision.
It's crazy because the people that are judging first are usually the ones that are very active in church.
Dude, that's true.
Dude,
Very
it's like,
true.
It's like if you're a Christian, Catholic, whatever, worship Buddha, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like it's all the same. So
Yeah.
in any religion, you just gotta respect your life, like I mentioned already. That's it.
Yeah.
People are just like worried about everyone else. Just work on yourself.
They're worried about what other people are doing,
Exactly.
which is ironically something that we've been taught since we were kids.
And
You know-
we've always had conversations like this, even
Yeah.
when we were young.
Yeah. Or like, don't concern yourselves with other people's doings.
Yeah.
Focus on what you're doing and just make sure that that's in line with goodness and life and God, whatever people believe in.
Mm-hmm.
There shouldn't be a problem with you and someone else. Like, the only problem that arises there is the other side or the evil one, whatever, uses you through judgment, through,
Right.
you know, putting down other people, disrespecting other people.
Yeah.
Dude, if we all respect each other in our own lanes and we all continue to live together, yeah. I think
yeah.
this is like one of the biggest topics. And it has been bothering me lately, but I mean, naturally it just came out now and I'm cool with that because I mean, at this point, I think it has to be said. You're right though. Like the people that are judging, and this is not, I'm not even putting out there if I'm vaccinated or not, dude. If
Yeah.
I'm vaccinated or not, that's no one's business, right?
Yeah, it really isn't. Yeah.
I'm an advocate for people making their own choices. I'm an advocate as a nurse. I'm an advocate for autonomy. People
Right.
making their own decisions, whether I know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to get back to this, what we're talking about, the reality and the heart of why we're here.
Yeah, it's like at this point, it's like, fuck the pandemic. Why are you here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If anything, the pandemic, brought a lot of pain, but it did wake us up,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I'm not saying like be careless about your actions or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
but of course, take all proper precautions, all that, but just keep busy.
Yeah. And again, focus on what you got to build for your future, for your kids.
Right.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges for me is doing well enough, to give our kids, the best opportunity. And it's a funny thing because, every parent feels that way. Our parents felt that way. They want to give us everything we wanted. They want to make sure that we're going to make good decisions and stuff like that. What makes me afraid though is like when we get older, there is going to be some element of like, are we going too far? Are we trying too much? Are we impeding their space? Are we overreaching or are we underreaching? Because like you see families like, how do you feel about like, raising kids nowadays and what's your hope for your kids, when they get to our age?
Yeah. So that's a great question. For me, like once my kids get at a certain age where they understand, or it's just about like doing what you want and just being passionate about it. I feel like as long as I give them that proper guidance and really show them like what life's really about. End of the day, as long as you're connecting with people, you love what you do, and it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's where you're supposed to be.
Sounds good, man. Honestly, it is going to be a long road, but the best part is that we're raising families together.
Yeah.
We're building our families together, and we're always down for each other. So our kids are going to grow up together and hopefully have conversations like this in the future too.
Yeah.
On that note, man, let's have a cigar.
Let's do it.
Thanks, man.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Always, bro.